already on call. One of our speakers is going to be joining a little late, but we are still good to go. As you come in the chat, um, I would like to make this very engaging and interactive. And please, if you are able to put on your video at any point in time, it will be nice, just so that I'm not just staring at the screen and myself. And it's going to be very exciting. If you can do me a favor, for those already on the call, can you please put in the chat what you're expecting from this section, what your expectations are, and just to get started while we still wait for other joiners. If you know any lady, any woman, any chick, any, what else do they call us? Any diva that is supposed to be here and is not on the call, please send them a reminder, share the link. It's our day. Let's celebrate together. Thank you. For those just coming in, we are just waiting a little bit to have a good number before we can start. Our speakers are already here. It's going to be an exciting section. I just ask that whatever you are expecting from this section, please drop it in the chat. Thank you, Ajoke Omotayo. She's looking forward to an engaging section. Thank you for that. Don't forget to reach out to your friends, your loved ones, and let them know we are here and about to kick it off. Can we have some music as we wait? We would be starting in another 5 minutes. Thank you, Abidemi. She's excited to be here. Thank you, Favor. Favor is thrilled to be here today. Mm. Okay. It's 10 oh, I'm sorry. It's 6:05, and I think it's a good time to start. I was waiting to see if we could get up to 50 persons on the call, but we are still at 48. Um, I'm sure it's been a good day for each and everyone on the call, and I don't want us to stretch these sections further or unnecessarily. So I think we are good to start. Can I get a confirmation if we can go ahead at this time? Yeah, we are 49 now. Thank you. You can also invite the other gender, the guys, the men. I think there's always something to learn. We are always cool like that. We share our learnings, we share the glory as well. So it's our day, but it's okay if you have any guy who you would like to invite. Please feel free to share the link with them. Let them see how we roll when we are with ourselves. Thank you, Ibukun Oluwa Wojobi. Okay. Yeah, we are going to be 50. We already 50. Yay! Good evening, everyone. I am privileged to be the facilitator for today's section. And do we call it facilitator or moderator? I beg your pardon. I am privileged to be the moderator for today's section. And we have in our midst um the big wigs in the space where we operate. I understand that most of the persons on this call are HR professionals. However, I'm sure that there are some other persons that are in the other field of practice, and it is going to be fun for everyone. So, briefly, let me introduce myself. My name is Modokwe Olajiton, popularly known as Mo Sweet. So I try to stretch that Mo Sweet. It's my own style. And I am a member of AEHRP. I've been a member since I can remember. And it has always been a celebration each year when we celebrate this International Women's Day, amongst other things we do in AEHRP. AEHRP is like I can say we are an association of elite human resource professional, and we hold learning in high esteem. Our nickname is the Association of Shameless Learner. Our core values are credibility, authenticity. I am not able to share my screen because all of this is in a slide, but if I have that permission to share screen, I could put it up. Please hold on a minute. I am trying to navigate this. Anyway, share screen. Okay. Window. Please, can you confirm that you can see my screen?
No, we can't see your screen.
Thank you for that confirmation. Okay, just because I'm struggling with this at this time, let me just go ahead and share what our vision is and um, our vision and our values, what we stand for as AEHRP. Our mission statement is creating value for human resource professionals and organizations through coaching, mentoring, and research based learning and capacity development programs. This we are known for. Our core values are credibility, authenticity, responsibility, resilience, integrity, empathy, and agility. Our vision statement is to be the go to source of competent human resource professionals who redefine the practice. And for our mission, we are creating value for human resource professionals and organizations through coaching, through mentoring, and research based learning and capacity development programs. The mandate is we are trying to bridge the communal gap that already exists between human resource professionals of different cadres. So in AEHRP, you don't have to be already an HR director or a CHRO before you become member. As long as this is your career, we are building the bridge between those cadres as a new entry into human resource, a student human resource person, or already at the top of the mark human resource professionals. And then the other mandate is to serve as a platform for learning, capacity development, knowledge acquisition, and experience sharing. Thank you. That is what AEHRP is all about. Today, please, I I know I know that a lot of us are maybe not able to put on our video, but I would like this to be engaging as much as we can. And in this situation where I can't even see anybody's face, please ensure to just drop emojis to confirm that you can hear me. I just read out her mandate, core values, mission, and vision. Can I get a reaction to that just so I am sure I am not speaking to myself? Anyone? Thank you, Salako Labisi. Thank you. Yeah, I can see the reactions. Thank you, Abidemi. Alrighty. Thank you. Yeah. So I think it's a good and safe space to start. I want us to, before I begin to read out the profile of our speakers, I want to remind us of what and why we are here today. Today, I don't know why my video keeps going off and on, but just so that we are not in a fix, I'm going to join this call again from my mobile phone. I just want to be well prepared, so that if I need to step out from here, I am still able to see everyone. Recording in progress. Okay. So, oops. Yeah, thank you. So we are focusing our development, her learning today around the International Women's Day. And permit me to say congratulations to all the ladies on the call today. Um, Happy International Women's Day. Today's logo and this year's style is this as I am doing. I'm sure some of us had already taken that pose. And our topic is accelerated action. That's the theme for the 2025 International Women's Day. And we're going to be speaking around from surviving to thriving. You would agree with me that a lot of times when someone says, "Hi, Salako, hi, BC, how are you doing?" Say, "Oh, I'm surviving." So we are trying to move from surviving to thriving, and a holistic approach to career, wellness, relationship, and financial well-being. That's the focus of our section today. And to do justice to that, we got four beautiful ladies as panelists to do justice to this topic. And we are going to be bringing them on board. They're already in here. Please, admin, can you spotlight our speakers? We have Madam Tolu Afonja. We have Queen Iwo. We have Madam Nneka Jethro Irobe. And we have Madam Oluwaseyi Olulade. These four women will be taking us through the entire section. Please do me a favor, have your questions ready. Please, there is no silly or stupid question. It is we. Because of time, I have a version of each of the speakers' profile, and I will just try to read like very quickly. First I have on my plate is Madam Nneka Jethro Irobe. She believes that employees deserve and can learn to be happy at work. If you master managing your manager and multiplying your money, as the happy employee coach, she believes only happy employees can lead companies to achieving the highest level of personal productivity and profitability. Nneka is an expert HR professional, and she's enjoyed her work and career over 17 years in some of the most challenging environments and has thrived. Can you imagine? In some of the most challenging environments and has thrived. So she didn't just survive, she thrived. So quickly, Nneka wrote the books titled Why Your Boss Prefers Your Colleague, Who You Should Know to Succeed at Work, and Who is Using Your Salary. Really? Madam Nneka, who is using my salary? Anyway, she's happily married, a product of office romance, and she can be reached on LinkedIn, Instagram at the Happy Employee Coach. Yeah, thank you. That's an abridged version of our profile. Oh, the thing is long, but because of time. Thank you, Madam Nneka. We are happy to have you. Can I have some applause for her? Are we jealous of ourselves? Can I see your emoji, please? Okay, you can see the beautiful Nneka that has been spotlighted. Okay, now I move to Madam Sheyi Olulade. She's the managing partner of the Impeccable Skills Company, a business advisory and human resource management consulting firm. Sheyi has worked in the people development and management field for over 20 years and has been with the company as a founding member since 2010. What was I doing in 2010? Okay, I can't remember now. Um, Leading process improvement interventions as an organization development specialist. She is a graduate of mass communication and holds a MSc degree in in organizational behavior from the University of Lagos. Great Akokite. No response. We don't have Akokite here. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. She
There's
currently
a feedback
sits
from your
as an
side.
advisory board member of the Women in HR WIHR of Nigeria, an advisory board member of the Association of Elite Human Resource Professionals AEHRP, member of the Governing Council at TRESI, the Real Sector Initiative Nigeria, amongst many others. She's in so many boards. She sits on the board of few companies and has consulted on a few social impact framework
Hello,
projects
moderator.
across Africa space.
Hello, moderator. Modope.
Yep, 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 yep,
Hello, Modope.
yes,
Hello,
please.
Modope. There is a feedback from your side. Are you logged in on two devices?
Okay, so give me a minute and
Yeah,
I
please
would.
stop that.
How is it now?
Much better. Thank you.
I apologize. So I've been making it very uncomfortable all along. Thanks for drawing my attention to it. I tried to have two devices because one wasn't coming up with my video. Anyway, thank you. That's Madam Sheyi Olulade's profile that I just read out. And I didn't get thumbs up, applause, or anything. I don't know why my ladies in the house are not doing this yet. Go to Madam Queen Iwo. So when I was introducing the speakers, I mentioned Queen Iwo because Queen sounded to me like a title already, but I would go ahead right now. Queen Iwo is a highly experienced and internationally certified holistic wellness thought leader and coach, dedicated to empowering leaders to transition from stress to strength, cultivate vitality, and achieve harmonious work-life balance through proven strategies and faith-based principles. With over 25 years of experience, she has positively impacted more than 15,000 individuals across 10 countries, 10 plus. Our extensive qualification include diplomas and certifications from institutions like Mirato School of Naturopathy, Food as Medicine Institute, American Fitness Professionals and Associates, and Rafa Institute of Healthy Living, specializing in holistic nutrition, wellness, prenatal, postnatal fitness, and mindful movement. She is also an executive member of the Association of Fitness and Wellness Professionals of Nigeria. She's a sought after facilitator and speaker. Queenie Ward has contributed to numerous high-profile events, including the Niyi Adesanya Leadership Bootcamp, Nike Adeyemi's Real Woman's Masterclass, the Elevation Church 30-Day Global Wellness Challenge, Dr. Stephen Akintayo's Global Wealth Festival, and Ezekiel Sholese's Strategy Growth Convention. She also serves on the office of the Special Advisor Climate Change and Circular Economy, Lagos State, and is the founder of Fit Fab and Alive. Queen Iwo is a devoted wife and mother of four. Thank you. Can we appreciate Queen Iwo with our emojis and let me know that you've read? Oh, I have the last but not the least. Our own dear Madam Tolu Afonja, and as usual, like every other of the speakers, she's got a lengthy profile. I will just do an abridged version so that we can get into the business of the day. Tolu Afonja is a certified integrative life coach, trainer, and speaker with over 18 years as human resource professionals, cutting across education, banking, consulting, and coaching. She facilitates the optimization of team productivity and performance within organizations through tailored retreats, training sections, consulting, and coaching programs, fondly referred to as the nurturer. The nurturer. She guides individuals and couples to evolve and thrive as they gain clarity, overcome mindset limitation, discover their options, set and take intentional steps to optimize the best versions of themselves so they enjoy happiness, satisfaction, fulfillment, and emotional well-being. Wow. She anchors the Uncensored Talk, a live radio show on Lagos Talks 91.3 FM that focused on building strong and harmonious relationship and marriages. She has also been featured on several radio and television programs such as Rave TV, TVC, Beat 99.9 FM. She has been honored with several awards. I can't continue to read all the awards she has been honored with. Tolu is the current vice president of Life Coaches Association of Nigeria. She's also a member of the Society for Human Resource Professionals (SHRIM), Chartered Institute of Personnel Management (CIPMN), and NITD, NITAD. Tolu is accredited management trainer with Nigerian Center of Management Development. Please, with beautiful applause and smiley faces, can you welcome all our four speakers? I will take a bit of time. I need to join back from my laptop as it's more better for me to transmit from there. Please, can we appreciate our speakers as they spotlight them and we start the section? Thank you. It's a panel section, so I'm going to give room for all the speakers. They will take turn to have their introductory. This meeting is being recorded. Okay. I can log on here. Yeah, I'm back here. Thank you. In no particular order, I would like to invite our speakers, starting from Madam Sheyi Olulade, to give their opening remarks on the topic we are addressing today. Thank you.
Hello, good evening, ladies. I'm sure amongst us I'm sure we have one or two or three of our allies here, the gentlemen.
Mhm.
It's always a pleasure to be amongst us in AEHRP. For me, talking about, we can, talking the topic ahead, sorry, please, you have to excuse my tardiness at this point. I just rushed in. There's no lights, I know everything was just happening all at the same time. But you see, that's also part of what we have to contend with and still put ourselves together and make sure we do what we ought to do. The holistic approach, your career, your wellness, putting everything, taking all the lemons that life throws at you and making a lemonade out of it, and yet you still stand out. And people are wondering, you've had a successful career, but by the time they see what is behind the scene, what you had to go through to get to where you are, that's the juice, that makes you stand out and unique. And there is no, for you to be here and haven't gone through all you have gone through to build your career, I tell you, you have what it takes to soar and stand out. That would be my opening remark for today.
Thank you, Madam Oluwaseyi. I quickly move to Madam Tolu Afonja.
Hello, everyone. Good day, depending on where you're joining us from. Thank you for having me here. So, with regards to the topic, accelerated action surviving to thriving, um, what I what I see it as is that
Is it just me or we lost connection? Hello, everyone.
It's Tolu's network.
Okay. Yeah, hoping that she's able to reconnect. I would like to go over to Queenie Wolf for our opening remarks while Madam Tolu tried to get back on the call. Is Queenie Wolf on the call?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me? My
Yes,
network is a bit
yes.
unstable, so I am currently signed up on two devices. I try to just manage both of them. I sincerely apologize for that. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, good evening, loud and clear. Thank you for
Uh,
coming online.
okay, so this is where I'm supposed to give my speech, if I'm correct.
Your opening remarks before we go into the rounds of questions.
Okay, so I prepared something very brief that I'd just like to read, and it's quite short. So happy International Women's Day, everyone. As we look towards 2025, let's move beyond abstract concepts of equality and focus on the power within each of us. Think about the ripples you create in your own life, your family, your community. Every choice you make, every action you take has the potential to inspire change. Our well-being is not a luxury, it's the foundation upon which we build our lives and contribute to the world. It's more than just surviving, it's about thriving. It's about recognizing your strength, your resilience, and your innate ability to create positive change. It's not about waiting for external validation or systematic shifts. It's about recognizing the agency you possess right now. This year, let's commit to taking personal responsibility for our own growth and for uplifting others. Let's commit to be women of action, women who lead by example, and women who empower others to rise. Thank you.
Thank you, Queen Iwo. Did I even pronounce your name right? Because I'm using my Ekiti accent to call it. I hope it's correct.
It's actually Queen Iwo.
Oh my. I
Yes, ma'am.
apologize. You know, when you too much traditional food, amala, gbegiri and all that, there's a way you twist your tongue and I just assume it's Iwo. Queen Hiwo. Is that the right pronunciation?
Queen Iwo.
Queen Iwo. Okay,
Yes,
I'll
please.
get better at it. Thank you for that opening remarks. Can I have Madam Nneka Jetro Irobe have her own opening remarks?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for having me this evening. Super excited to be here. I had the background on before, but for some reason, I couldn't then unmute myself. I don't know what it was. So I just took it out, exited the meeting, and then joined back. So maybe I'll try and figure it out what others are speaking. But I love the theme for this year's IWD, right? I think it's very powerful. But four things I want to share in terms of my opening remarks, and I've shared this, online as well, to say that if we're going to accelerate action, and if we look at what is going on with us in Nigeria, with the Senate and all of that, I think it's really critical for us to ask ourselves certain questions and say, okay, what do I want to do differently? How do I want to change my life? And something that I think it was, I don't know if it was Queenie or Tolu alluded to the facts of agency, and I think it was Queenie, the facts of agency, right? So I think there are four things I'd like to say as my opening remarks. The first thing is, if you're going to accelerate action, you've got to learn yourself. Man, know thyself. We all know that maxim, right? Understand who you are. Truly sit back and say, what are my pet peeves? What are the things that excite me? What are the things that make me happy? Every woman on this call, be intentional in investing in understanding yourself. That's number one. We can expand on that later on. Number two is to love what you find out, right? I like how you're laughing at yourself. I like how you say, oh, the traditional food is twisting my tongue. Fantastic, right? So we've got to love ourselves and love ourselves fully before you can take action. You know, what inhibits action many times is fear, you know, or what people will say, what is this? No, learn yourself, understand who you are, and truly love yourself, and then live fully. I put it this way: actively go after fun. Tell yourself that you deserve the best of things in life and go after those things. There brings in the power of agency. When you're able to truly know yourself, learn yourself, love yourself fully, and then live fully, then you're able to lead yourself to take action, and others are able to come along with you, right? So I think those are the four things I'd like to say to start this conversation around how we can move from surviving to thriving. Thank you.
Thank you, Nika. That's very well taken. Learn yourself. Start with learning yourself. If you don't know yourself, I'm sure there's a lot you are not able to do. Before we start the rounds of questions to for our panelists to respond to, can we put in the chat if there is one thing that you're sure of that is not helping you to thrive, but you're just surviving? What would that thing be? Can we have that response in the chat? Someone is saying, BC, you're supposed to be thriving, but you're surviving as it is. What is making you, or what is preventing you from thriving? Please, let's just drop our comments. And I'm deliberate about this question because we have four beautiful people, coaches, experience. Did you listen to their profile? The least person, I mean, the list of the years of experience there's no list, because someone that is already 18 years can as well be called a matured woman. So if you put all of those years of experience, there's 25, there's 18, there's over 15. If you put all of those experience together, you know what it means. So please, let's make use of this opportunity and put what is stopping you from thriving and keeping you at that surviving level. Yeah, I'm seeing the responses. Fear of the unknown, fear of the unknown. Okay, why are we so afraid? Okay, can we still have more responses before we go into the question? So the four women had been selected. We don't do anyhow in AEHRP. We are deliberate. So they are going to be addressing the four areas that is on the topic. The topic again, for people who are not sure, is from surviving to thriving, a holistic approach to career. So we have one of the panelists speaking to career, and I think that is Madam Olulade. And then we have wellness, relationship. For wellness, we have Queen Hiwo. I hope the Ewedu. I think I better stop eating Ewedu now. Queen Hiwo would be speaking on wellness and well-being, and then Nneka will be speaking on financial well-being. Did you see the caption on our shirt? I hope you are attract. I used to hate. She said, "Are you?" And someone took it away just now. Who is doing this to me? I used to hate my salary till there was no time I hated my salary. Me, I don't know about anybody, but one of the things at that point that is jumping at me when I was reading her profile is who is using my salary. If I catch that person anyway. So Nneka will be speaking on financial well-being, and Madam Tolu Afonja will be speaking on relationship. You know, we really cannot go so far if we don't have relationship, we don't have people that we want to go with. There's this popular saying that say, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go with people. So Tolu will be speaking on that. Thank you for your comment. I think a whole lot of us are afraid. We are moving. What is stalling us from thriving, to switch from surviving to thriving is the fear of the unknown. And then I have Oluwani Femi says a switch from academia to the industry, trying to get back into the job market after being at home or being a homemaker for 10 years. I think being a homemaker for 10 years in itself is a career. So you've been working. Don't say less of yourself. Quickly, let me start with Nneka. I like money, right? And I think everybody loves money. But we are looking beyond money here. And my first question to her is, what are those foundational principles of achieving financial well-being? A lot of people would have loved to put on their video, but you know what the data is saying, how much they have increased the costs. So they would rather manage that data they have bought just to maintain and listen. That's why some of my colleagues are not putting it on. Some people would have loved to join, but like, oh, I am going to have church online tomorrow. If I join this section today, I won't be able to go to church virtually. So they are saving it. So how do we, it's a lot. How do we, what are those foundational principles that we can use to achieve a financial well-being? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I really love the question you asked initially, which was, what is stopping you from thriving? I think it's such a powerful question to have asked. And I want to start from there to answer this question here, because we are not going to deny the fact that a lot of us on this call have said we are dealing with fear. And I want to say that welcome to the club, right? And you ask the question, why so many people dealing with fear? It's a simple fact. If a female, one of the first major needs we have is the need for security and safety. That's one of the first major needs every woman has. We want to feel safe. We want to feel secure, right? And so it goes pari passu that when we say fear is the first thing that we have to deal with, because we want to feel safe. We want to feel safe in our minds. We want to feel safe in our identity. We want to feel safe in being able to express ourselves. So because of we are looking for safety, we tend to allow fear take over and drive many of our decisions. So I want to say to anyone who is dealing with fear on this call, welcome to the club. You're not alone, but you can rise above it and you can still do great things in spite of. I will share this very quickly. I wrote my first book, right? Can you still see me and hear me?
Very, very loud and clear.
Fantastic. I wrote my first book in 2017, and I wrote it from a place of fear. Absolutely. I didn't think I was going to be able to sell it. I just wrote it and printed it because I felt an immense pressure in my heart as a Christian that God was leading me to write that book. I didn't think I was going to sell it. My plan was write and dash a few people and leave it alone. But I went against that fear. So I'm sharing that story to say to anyone on this call who is afraid and who feels like, I would have been thriving if only I could do A or B or C. You are in familiar territory, but you've got to find agency and move beyond the fear. I hope that helps you. To answer the question on what foundational principles are, right, with respect to financial well-being. If we say, is somebody feeling fine? I ask you, are you feeling fine? You check, I don't have a headache. My hands, I can use them. My legs, okay. Generally, you would say you are feeling well, right? And so if we say financial well-being, the way I like to answer that question is, am I feeling fine with respect to money? And I know the initial reaction of many people will be like, hey, no, no, no. And you are saying no because you want more, but that's not right. You can feel well with what you have while desiring more. Those two realities can coexist. So if we say, am I financially well? What's that foundational principle? It means that you are aware that there's something about being financially well in the first instance. There's something called financially well. It means you understand what money is. It means you're able to account for your money. It means you're able to sit down and say, how do I make money? You understand that. So you're able to look at what is coming to you in terms of finances, and you're able to answer the question, how is this coming to me? How am I able to create value? So being financially well is you understand what money is. You understand that money is like currency. Money can move anyhow, move anyway, right? You understand that money is a tool. Money is a tool. You understand what money responds to, that money responds to value. Right? So when we say financial principles for financial well-being, the principles of financial well-being is understanding that these things, okay, what money is, right? That money is a tool, money is currency, money responds to value, you trade time for money, and you're able to very fundamentally account for the money that has come to you. For all of us on this call this evening, my question to you is the amount of money that has come into your account in the last 3 to 6 months, can you account for it? Are you very clear on what those monies have gone to do? And are you proud of how you've used those monies? If you are pleased with how you've used those monies, if you can look at yourself and say, yes, I use this money to create value, both short-term and long-term, then you are financially well. If you can't answer that question, then we need to step back and begin to fix certain things to help you to grow into better financial well-being. All right? I hope that helps. Back to you, Modope.
Thank you. If anybody is going to ask me more, how are you feeling? I will have to ask, do you mean financially or otherwise? Because now I understand that we are used to that cliche. How are you? I'm good. And we don't consider the financial part. So the principle she has given to us is first understanding what money is a tool, is a currency, and it has value. So, and I think I took note that you can feel well with what you have while you're looking for more. You need to really know what the ones you have, the money you have now. Do you feel well with it before trying to get more? Thank you. So our speakers are not putting on their video, not because they are not happy to, but because there's been a lot of issues with network. So when we bring them up, you will see that they'll try to put it on. And if they are still not able to put it on, just let us listen. Let's just picture. No, you've seen their faces. Just imagine, when you're in that space where you can act in the movie. So let's imagine that they are right in front of us. I will call on Madam Tolu Fonja. Now, Madam Tolu is speaking to relationship, and I said before, there's really a lot we can do when we collaborate, when we have people. The relationship doesn't necessarily mean just you are married, it's your wife or your husband or your fiancé. So she's going to speak to that. And my first question on that for Madam Tolu is, what are the key elements of building and maintaining healthy relationship in both personal and professional setting? I have a couple of friends who cannot point to anyone in their organization that they have as friend. They tell me, oh, I don't want office drama. No, I have enough on my plate. I just cannot deal. So all they do is work, me, and no association whatsoever. Everything is on work level. So what are those elements that we can have to build and maintain healthy, emphasis on healthy relationship in our personal life and in the professional setting? Please take us on that, Madam Tolu. Can we
Thank you.
spotlight the speaker?
Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Modokwe. Apologies when I was giving my opening remarks. Network me out, but I'm glad to be back. So when we talk about building and maintaining healthy relationships, I always say that it starts with you. What relationship do you have with yourself? Is it a healthy one in the first place? Or what do we even qualify as a healthy relationship, right? How do you see yourself? If you look at yourself in the mirror, are you confident? Are you proud of the person you're seeing? What do you tell yourself? So some key elements, just so that I don't go round and round, some key elements that we should look at with building and maintaining healthy relationships, starting with ourselves. One, effective communication, being open and honest, telling yourself the truth, right? That comes with a level of self-awareness. Looking at yourself in the mirror, getting adequate feedback from, people around you, and understanding that you are like this. And why am I like this? But when we look at personal relationships, you're able to share your feelings, listen empathetically. Listening empathetically is very crucial. So some people just listen, and before you know it, they're on to the next conversation. So you're wondering, was I really heard at all? And then that causes a withdrawal in the relationship. In professional settings, we always talk about clear communication. Effective communication is not just verbal. We know that there are the non-verbal cues. And it has to, when you're communicating, there has to be an alignment. It has to be effective, that the meaning of your communication is exactly what the other person is receiving. Now, I'll also look at a mutual respect. mutual respect, valuing yourself and valuing each other's perspectives and boundaries is very essential. When we talk about respect in personal relationships, it has to do with acknowledging the people around you, each person's individuality. While in professional context, it's about appreciating your colleagues' contributions and viewpoints. And of course, a level of trust. Do you trust yourself? Do you trust others? Some people have trust issues. Wherever they find themselves, they have trust issues. Some is based on biases that they already have, some limitations, some beliefs, and all. So a foundation of trust allows us to rely on one another. We are relational beings. So if you're sitting with the next person and you're already wondering, what's this person thinking about? I don't trust this person. Why should I be sitting this person? Maybe there's a charm under my chair, and all of that. You're already killing yourself because you can't grow. You can't build a relationship like that. So building trust requires consistency, it requires reliability, and of course, integrity in both personal and professional interactions. Another very, very important key element is empathy. Empathy, understanding and sharing another person's feelings, it strengthens the connections you have with people. It fosters compassion, and of course, it attracts support, because it enhances relational bonds. And of course, quality time. Quality time. When you're talking about relationships, you can't but have quality time. I know people, based on their limitations, based on the way they see life, based on probably experiences, they think nurturing a relationship or maintaining a healthy relationship is time consuming. It's too much work. They can't put in the effort. They can't put in anything. But then when they are on the other side, they have high expectations of other people. This person did not call me. Why didn't you call me? And all of that. Have you spent time with that person for that person to even have you on top, right? And say, oh, I've not heard from Tolu in a long while. Let me reach out and spend quality time, even if it's just 5 minutes on a phone conversation. And then, of course, every relationship will always have conflict. So while we try to avoid conflict, it is also about having healthy conflict resolution skills. Because otherwise, you're going to push people away from you and you say you're all alone. Nobody understands you. Nobody does this, and you start telling yourself things that will continue to, make you withdraw or cause people to withdraw from you. So you're making yourself not
Thank
attractive,
you.
So these are I just quickly breeze through them, but some key elements in building and maintaining healthy relationships. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Tolu. I hope we are taking notes. I am taking notes. And I see that there's a lot for us to do. So even when you're thinking like, oh, I'm trying to build a relationship, it has to start with you. Just the way Madam Nika mentioned that you have to know some stuffs about money yourself. And now she's answering that those fundamental things are first, building a relationship starts with you. You need to know what you're able to give so that your expectations can be managed. You are not able to spend 5 minutes on a phone call and then you're asking and you're saying, oh, she barely calls, she barely listens to me, she's not there. Are you even giving what are you giving half of what you're expecting? Mutual respect, be open and honest, effective communication. Effective communication is a two-way thing. You're not just the one talking all the time. You are not always the one with the problem. Sometimes you should wear the heart of the listener, and that's how to build a healthy relationship. Quickly, I'll go to Queen Iwo. I hope it's right this time. What are some practical steps individuals can take to integrate wellness into their daily routine? If you see me do like this or do like this, I'm trying to integrate wellness into my routine. I do it normally, but I'll just behave myself on this call. So Queenie will take us on that, what we can do to integrate wellness into our daily routines. We are well aware that a lot of time we are on our feet in the kitchen as ladies or as women, or we are in the office sitting down for a lengthy time in meetings, on calls, and then you're done with work, you're going out, you're driving, sitting in um in traffic for good number of hours, you're getting home, like it's a lot. How do we put that into all of this and still be able to put wellness in our daily routine?
Thank you very much. Please just confirm you can hear me. All right then.
Clear.
So I'll start with gratitude. Is one thing that a lot of us do not necessarily or intentionally engage in. Like there's a saying that says that gratitude takes you to more altitudes. The first place we tend to stay a whole lot is in the place called overwhelm. And when you're overwhelmed, you're not able to see beyond where you are, and you're not able to take the necessary steps daily to ensure that you are enjoying total wealth or total health and well-being. So gratitude is the first place to start. We all know what we need to do. The question is, how come we're not doing the things that we ought to do? So when you're intentional, starting with gratitude, then your mind begins to open up to creative ways that you can really, really enjoy total well-being. Right. So with that, you then come to prioritizing, like everyone has said, prioritizing yourself, prioritizing, especially for mothers, we tend to give to the world and forget about ourselves. And when you give from an empty cup, one day the cup is so dry it can break. But when your cup is full, you're not easily pushed, tossed back and forth. So things like setting a daily schedule for yourself, very little simple things you can do. For example, every day when you wake up, you can set 10 minutes, 15 minutes, my me time. What can I do in 15 minutes? You'll be surprised to see that even 5 minutes of stretching exercise, 5 minutes of deep breathing or meditating, 5 minutes of journaling goes a long way to keep you centered, get you started on your day. It's very important. And then throughout your day, you can then become intentional. You can set alarms. Okay, at so time every day, I'll get up from my desk. I'll take this amount of water. You can download the water app to stay hydrated. You can take breaks from your desk. You can, pay attention to your hunger cues. Don't wait till you're hungry. That's already error 205, like I would say. If you wait till you're hungry, your body's already out of its normal working process, right? Then what you eat in the day, I would usually recommend for breakfast that you try as much as possible to eat raw food. Now, before you say, raw food, yes, you can actually eat very delicious raw food. There's salads, there's fruit salad, there's vegetable salad. You can do granola. There are things you can actually take in the morning that will keep your body energized, because sometimes the food you eat can actually not help you at that time of the day. Between the hours of 4 a.m. to 12 noon is when your body is detoxing. So it's getting rid of all those things. And that's the best time to eat foods that can help that process so that in the morning you're really alert and alive. And I will also say it's important also to know where you are in your wellness journey. For some people, you're pregnant. For some, you are just getting started with your work, career life. For some, you're at the tail end as menopause. So, like it's been said, a problem well stated is a problem half solved. So, when you know exactly where you are, it helps you to navigate the seasons of life. I saw I think it's Madam Kemi's a comment saying that she wants to how to go back to the corporate world after 10 years. Trust me, I just got back into the corporate and I'm like, Jesus, and I got to the document. No, the office I renewed in, you work like you really work. So at first it was quite overwhelming. And then I started to prioritize. Also, I had to drop some responsibilities in church. I just had something to go. I had to delegate some tasks. You just have to look at where you are and then think through how you can navigate. But the truth of the matter is, when you start with gratitude, your mind opens up. You begin to see possibilities rather than saying the problems, because it's very easy to see the problems, the obstacles, obstacles, obstacles. But when you're grateful, every day of gratitude opens you to a new level of discovery. I'll say that again. Every day of gratitude opens you to a new level of discovery. It's more like an adventure. In an adventure, you have the good times, sometimes you have the bad times, but in an adventure, at the end of the day, it's a wholesome, beautiful experience. And that's how we should take our wellness journey. It's not just one day, It's a journey. So at every point in time when you wake up every day, be grateful. Every step of the way, know where you are, and then know what exactly you want to achieve as well in your wellness journey. Know where you are and know what you want to achieve in your wellness journey. And just take it one day at a time, one step at a time. But remember to have your daily schedule. Set out 10, 15 minutes. It's not too much to invest to yourself, into yourself. Remember that these days, the kind of ailments that hit a lot of people, the way people just die, it's not encouraging. And we all have, what it takes. I mean, God has given us life, so we all have what it takes to control the narrative of our health and our well-being. So I just want to encourage each and every one of us here, be intentional. Be intentional. Promise yourself from today, I will be intentional about my health. Then, of course, prioritize your sleep.
Thank
And
you.
one thing you can do very much every night, just set a time where you go to bed every night and then set a schedule 30 minutes, 1 hour before bedtime. Throw that phone away. It will help you a great deal. Thank you.
Wow. I was going to say, let me not say it. I was going to say all the things Queen Iwo has said is looking like a movie, like it's a film trick, right? But do you know it's something that is doable? Very hard to do, but if you start small, it's actually achievable. I was thinking when you said we should like at least dedicate 10 minutes, first 10 minutes as we wake up to ourselves, and I'm like, most of the time the thought in my own head, what am I cooking today? I don't know if other people are thinking like as I'm trying to like give my that 10 minutes, I'm like, let me say it in Yoruba so that you can understand. Kill am I go school anybody. What are these kids going to take to school today? And it's still part of them. Then after that one, I'm like, what will I wear to work today? And then when you talk about eating raw, I align with all you're saying, and I'm not trivializing it. I'm not making it look like it's, but the reality is, that you're going to have a long day. Maybe it's the way we have been wired, like, it's a bad, I can do it. Oh, we are going to be in board meeting the whole day. Like, you want to deck up, like, eat one thing solid that you won't even have to be going up and down. But I think we are doing a disservice to ourselves with the kind of things we take in. Because, like she said, the rate at which you will hear some ailments, the names, you'll be wondering, like, these are not things we used to hear when we were growing. But anyway, gratitude, that's my takeaway. And I have the quote you gave us: every day of gratitude opens you to a new level of discovery. Be thankful for what you have. I used to use alarm when I was in school, when I was in the university, like I set an alarm. But I observed that each day I wake up, I'm hungry. I'm starting my day with easing, like, and I had to stop the alarm. And why I do that was because you want to sleep, you want to stay longer in bed, and once the alarm goes off like this, the way it goes into your brain, into your head, and like I just open my eyes and like, mm, it's already morning. Then I had to like I can't wake up easy. Like, that doesn't sound like a grateful person. That's not the attitude I want to start my day with. I had to stop that alarm. Like, if I sleep away, let me sleep away. Then when I started missing my early morning classes, I changed it to having one of my favorite worship song as my alarm. So I'm waking up in that song, as against waking up with grung, 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 and easing. Quickly, I'm going to take this next question to Madam Oluwaseyi. She's focusing on her career, and we have said a lot about financial well-being, relationship building, and wellness. So, what about the career? Most of us here are career women. Some are just coming back to work, and thankfully, our last speaker just said she's also just returning after taking some time off. What strategies have you found most effective in transitioning from a job to a fulfilling career? So, maybe you think job is the same thing as career. There's something we do just to make ends meet, but it becomes a career when it's tending to what we are looking at, where I'm positioning myself for the future. So what strategies have you found most useful that you can share with us on this call to make us or help us to effectively transition from a job to a fulfilling career? Madam Shi.
Good evening.
Thank
It feels good to have lights back. Sorry, I'm sure for those of us here in Nigeria, all this collapsing of grid is really not helping matters, and the generators have refused to come up, but we're good to go. With your career, I mean, your career is a concatenation of many jobs, experiences, work that you've done, roles, position that you've ever held, whether formally or informally. It's a bringing together of many experiences that have developed many skills for you. It becomes a profession when you decide to say, I narrow down to this direction. So at that point in time, you start developing yourself in that area. Now, for those of us who are trying to go back from, like I read in the comments, oh, I've been a mother for a homemaker, better word, a homemaker for 10 years, and I'm trying to go back to formal work because, like you said, homemaking itself, it's a career because there are careers that are beginning to emerge, there are profession, there are services are beginning to emerge from that. If you've been a homemaker for 10 years and you're wondering, look, I've been an accountant in the past 10 years, I'm a bit rusty and out of touch. The point is, for the whole of 10 years, a lot has happened. There have been shifts in your industry. There have been shifts even in the micro environment. So it's possible you weren't keeping tab. But what you want to do at that point in time is ask yourself, in these 10 years, what have I done that I have enjoyed? What have I done that I have enjoyed? Because as an intrapreneur, or an entrepreneur, I mean, you want to say to yourself, okay, maybe I want to start a business. There are needs that need to be met, so I want to bring solution. But even as an entrepreneur, if you feel, I don't think I have the wherewithal to start my own business, so I just want to be a professional that works for somebody else. There's something you want to ask yourself, what is it that I know I do well? Recently, there's an organization, one of their key uniqueness is hospitality, because of the diverse kind of visitors and guests that they have. And they said to me, this is a unique thing about us. And I said, well, why don't you bring in somebody that has experience in food and beverage in? Yeah, food and beverage. I mean, they are not into hospitality, but they just know that bit is one area. Now, we had ladies who are used to hosting guests in their homes, hosting diverse kind of guests in their homes. And I think one of the top contenders on that role, she's never done anything hospitality, but she's very good with everything that has to do with etiquette of fine dining, cooking, choosing meals, and what has it. And she's just been a homemaker. So what you want to do is take inventory of whatever skills and experience that you have garnered over that period and begin to look at where does it fit in. Can I offer it on a full-time basis? Can I offer it as a consultancy? As you begin, and even if that is not what you want to do, and you want to go back to maybe, let's say, accounting, you might still be going to organizations. It begin to allow you ease back into the workplace, to begin to take on back the workplace culture. It's one of the ways you can do that. Now, for those of us who have not, we don't fall into that bracket, possibly you're wondering, my career, I don't think I like the direction it's going. I really want to take charge. I mean, thank God now, I'm so glad about this year's theme. It's time for us to act. Enough talking. Yes. It's time for us to act. get up and take your career. You know, there's something I used to crack a joke. I used to say, look, anytime I'm talking to any junior one or anyone, any young professional, I said, look, it is your job. It is their job, your career. Their own job, your career. So the responsibility to take like the protein career is what we see these days. Begin to develop yourself in those areas. Now, I know, I mean, the other speakers have spoken from the point of finance. Finance is good. Money is good. You've got to look good. You've got to smell good. You've got to eat good. You've got to, you know, do all those things. Money aside all things. Money, money, money. You know, I'm sure we all played that game. Give me my money. Money is good. But you see, we have to learn before we earn. And at every stage, for you to move up there, what I see I mean, okay, for the past almost 30 years now, that I've been doing recruitment, I'm beginning to see, you know, we see trends of, even these days, where people are focusing more on the money. I want to, and you're losing out on building brilliant ingredients that will give you stamina over the long term. You are not paying attention. You're seeing somebody's CV, he does 6 months here, does 1 year there, does 8 months here, and you're asking them, kilo son, don't work. What did you misplace that you are looking for? You understand? Money is good, but there's a place for you to learn. There's a place for you. Internet is good. There's so much information there, but then you cannot beat hands-on experience. You cannot beat studying somewhere and working under somebody. You don't learn that through the internet. Because when you learn, it gets to a point where you will lose out the savor of your profession. And that's why it's important now that we begin to, we've studied enough. I can imagine how many with AEHRP we do something week in, week out, you know, like that, so many. And there, I can bet my life that there are some people who don't miss one Saturday. But if we sit down to take your knowledge quotient and versus where you are in terms of positioning, there is a disparity. So what is going on? You need to sit down and begin to ask yourself, why, and be realistic with yourself and begin to move according to where you think you are. I've seen people take on jobs, I've seen people take on roles that are bigger than them, and they get fired. At some point in time in my company, we were dealing with people that were taking on jobs that were bigger than them, and they would say, we are ready to share 50% of our salary. Just help me through the job for 1 year. Help me through the job for 6 months. And I'm like, no, I can't do that. You've got to put yourself where you belong so that you can sustain like a prolong after a while. I don't know. I hope I've said so many things. So
Thank
I
you.
hope
Thank you so much.
yeah.
You have done justice to it. You have answered the question. And I can see even in the chat, people are dropping one of their learnings. Someone said, Ajoke Omotayo wrote, you need to learn before you earn. And jokingly, our speaker said, oh, what are you looking for? Like, what fall off your hand that you are running after? You need to build that stamina. So stamina is not as per physical strength, is the career strength. So that when you now get that big paying job that you want to use the salary Nneka is talking about, you want to spend it, you are able to do the job. My mouth was open when you said some people got into a bigger role and they are saying, I'm happy to share 50% just for 6 months so that you take me through. And AI is not even helping, because with any, you can just go on ChatGPT, prepare an experience for someone with 10 years, and they will package everything for you. And then you go to interview, you speak. If you are very good at speaking, you just get the job and come and do the job. It will now be, so why do you want to disgrace womanhood now? We don't do that. We don't do more than we can do. We don't eat, we don't bite more than we can chew. It's good to aspire, it's good to want to be big. There are other people on the call, they are highly placed, but they started somewhere. They built the stamina. Build the stamina. Don't just want to jump over and over. Madam Tolu, quickly, you mentioned while you're talking about relationship, how we can, the foundational things we need to build a healthy relationship. And one of the things you mentioned was being able to communicate. So, how can individuals improve their communication skills to enhance their relationship? I know that you have talked about it's two-way, we have to listen, we have to be able to give, but are there any other tips you would like to share about building or improving our communication skills to improve our relationship?
Right, thank you, Modope. In terms of building, enhancing communication skills, I'm going to emphasize again active listening.
Mm,
Active listening. So being fully concentrating on what is being said to you without planning your response while you speak. So someone is talking to you and you have already created different scenarios even before the person has finished what he's saying, So this demonstrates that you respect what the person is saying, and it ensures that you understand their perspective. Now, active listening is also being fully present and you're listening to both the verbal and non-verbal cues. Another thing to look into with regards to improving communication skills is making use of non-violent communication. And this comes with expressing yourself without blaming the other person, that it is because of you or it's because of this situation and all of that. It helps you to take responsibility for what you are communicating per time while empathizing with another person. So in terms of improving communication and non-violent communication skills, we need to observe. Describe what is happening. Observe. Be present to observing what is going on. Be open to expressing your emotions relating to what you have observed. Using I, not doing you. You always do this, you always do that. People do this, and there's nothing wrong with you. It's every other thing and every other situation and every other person that there's something wrong with. So be able to connect with your emotions and express what you have understood and whatever it is that you heard, how it makes you feel. Identifying needs connected to your feelings. So sometimes people just go into aggressive modes while communication. And that aggression is because something has been triggered with you. You don't know what has been, what has been conflicted within you. Sometimes people say, I don't know what's wrong with me. Let me give an example. There was a time my son called me from school and said, Mommy, I was talking to my friends in the hostel, and someone said, why are you shouting at me? That why are you so angry? You're just shouting at us. And he didn't realize that he was shouting, that his tone was high. And so he walked out of the space in terms of trying to calm down, just took a walk. So it was during that walk that he called me. And I said, what's going on with you? During that, when he was on the walk and he calls, and I said, what's going on with you? What happened before you got into that conversation with your hostel mates? Was there anything that was said that triggered you? Because he didn't think he was angry. But when they called his attention to it, he walked out and, started, he called me that they said, I'm angry, I'm shouting, I don't know what's going on, but that is, um, that is the fact that he was open to feedback. He didn't even know what he was feeling. But by the time we had that conversation, we could talk through it about what had triggered it. What was the need? What did he need at that time? And what was being said at the time to him that made him feel that way or made him to project his anger? And of course, when making requests, when we're speaking to people, be specific. Let it be actionable. Sometimes we just go round and round and round, and we want to have quality time, So just be specific. Go, make it actionable to address your needs. Sometimes we ask people, what is going on? What do you really, really want? And they say, I don't know what I want. I just know, and they go on about what they don't want. right? So what do you really want? How are you feeling? What do you want? I don't want this, I don't want that. How are you feeling? I'm fine, the generic answer. But if you go deeper and
Yeah.
say, how are you really, really, really feeling? How fine is fine? That's something I always ask. I say, how fine is fine? And then they go on and, go deeper into expressing their needs or whatever request is going on with them. So it's really utilizing this non-violent cues. Another thing is seeking feedback and reflection. I mean, that was what my son did then, encouraging, but this time you don't wait for people to just tell you. You have created an environment, a system that people can give you feedback. Encourage your colleagues, your partner, your family, your social circles, your friends to share their thoughts on your communication style and be open to making necessary adjustments. Reflecting on past interactions. So before you go to bed, Queenie Wolf said so much about gratitude. While you are reflecting on how your day went and you are grateful for how your day went, right? It's also important that you're reflecting on past interactions in the course of the day. Oh, how could I have been better when I had this conversation? What would have been better when I was on this webinar? Why would, just going back, a lot of these things I go back when I speak. I go back to listen, to watch.
To
Sometimes
yourself.
I share with people when I have access. I share with people. I say, oh, please give me your feedback on this. So let's be open to it. It's a lifestyle. Most times, sometimes we're on the defensive mode. And I say, no, 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 it's not me. I don't know what you heard. I don't know what you saw, and all of that. But if we are open to receiving feedback, and then receiving feedback also helps us to know how to fine tune and improve our communication styles. I'll just drop the mic here. Thank you.
Thank you. It looks like all the speakers are ganging up against me because most of the things you are saying, like, I'm so guilty. That aggression, hmm, what Nigeria has done to my life, that's it going in the front. This happened just two, if I am sure, like 2 to 3 weeks ago. My husband was saying, Mo, can you not talk without shouting? And I'm like, am I shouting? Like, what do you mean I'm shouting? And then the girls were looking at me and said, they are beginning to get used to you shouting, but it's not too late to change. And I'm like, okay, no problem. And then immediately he said that I was very angry, I was defensive, and I'm like, okay, I should not be shouting again. No problem. And then I call my daughter, Olamide, can you empty the dishwasher? Do you know the thing she said? Mommy, are you okay? Like, and I looked at her. I wanted to scream, but I like, oh, somebody just said you are shouting and you want to scream. So I just kept quiet, and she now said, Daddy, is mommy okay? Why is she speaking like that? And I felt like my life is finished. They are so used to, if mommy like, I'm not, this is not being exaggerated. This is the truth. And I'm like, oh, I see. So apparently when you're giving the example of your son, and I'm like, I hope these my daughters are not even shouting in school because they are used to the noise. And it's not like I want to shout, but you know the way where we come from, generator left, generator right. So if you don't scream, they will not even hear you. And it has become, oh my God. But anyway, I'm trying to get better. And you can see from the way, from my demure, from the way I'm facilitating this section, I'm not shouting, right? I'm not aggressive. Let's get to it. Queenie, you must have answered this question in your introduction and then in the first question you responded to. But I still want to ask, oh, no, you haven't. How does mental health impact overall wellness? You told us how we need to be starting our day with gratitude, how we can build wellness into our routine, maybe journaling or something, things that can just help us to build wellness. But these days, especially in the professional world, any small thing, my mental health is impacted. Any little thing, I'm not mentally there. Sometimes, not because I want to think people are lying, but I think the word mental well-being and mental health is sometimes misused, overused, or misinterpreted as something else. I take, for example, someone is not performing on their job, and they are going to have a performance conversation. And the next thing we are hearing is, I don't feel mentally safe here. Just because your performance is going to be addressed in a one-on-one conversation with your leader. Anyway, that's what we see these days in the workplace. How does that mental health impact overall wellness, and what can be done to support it?
Thank you for the question. So mental health is a vital part of overall well-being. It affects how people think, it affects how people feel and how they behave. So therefore, it affects physical health, relationships, and our everyday life. In naturopathic class, one of the things that changed drastically for me was learning how this translates into our bodies and how people just get into that path where we just continue in that negative zone all the way, right? So one of the things I learned in class was that whatever emotions we feel per time, they feed the body. It's either negative or it's positive. Whatever you feed it consistently is what it will yield for you. So today we have for people products of negative thinking patterns. And that has completely affected their everyday lives, even in their response. Many people do not have emotional resilience or mental stamina. And so you find, people in that state of just wanting to back out, just wanting to shut down, just wanting to give up, just wanting to, be defensive and all of that. Also, our current diet as it is today is not also helping matters. Most of what we're eating are unwholesome food, and these things have a direct impact in our health, in our mental state, and also if you find somebody who's always taking things that are high in sugar, that also triggers the brain, but it does so in a negative way. It's triggered to a very high place where you think that it's a pseudo or a false kind of, adrenaline, like when somebody takes cocaine, you feel high in that moment, and then all of a sudden, so imagine somebody who is always feasting on fizzy drinks, for example, and thinks that this is helping them stimulate their mental, whatever faculty, that person will definitely over time get into a spiral of highs, lows, highs, lows, highs, lows, very, unhealthy pattern. So these are things and so many more. I mean, there's a whole lot more that we can literally delve in when it comes to our mental health. And when people are in that state, you tend to be lazy, you tend not to want to really think critically, and because healthy living, mental health, well-being, it's work. You have to be intentional about where you are. And as a mother, I can totally relate with the little things you shared. But also, I'm in that place where I'm becoming much more aware and making definite, decisive steps every single day, to change the narrative in how I relate with my children at work and all of that. Some of the things, that we can do, if you find yourself going through, high levels of stress, you may then develop anxiety, depression might begin to set in, negative thinking pattern might begin to set in, your relationships can begin to become greatly affected, and even your productivity can become affected as well. So some things you can do is seek professional help. Your HR manager might be somebody you want to talk to. If not, you should have, a support system, friends, people that you can necessarily, talk to just say, hey, look, I feel like I'm spiraling in this aspect of my life.
You're muted now. We were hearing you before. Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
Now,
So
yes.
changing your diet is also a very good place to start, right? How you eating more wholesome foods, putting away all the garbage and all the bad foods, some people they depend on sugar. I mean, changing all that narrative and eating healthy, that's another thing that can really help your mental health.
Okay.
engage in physical exercise. A lot of people downplay what exercise can do. Trust me, exercise can really mitigate against, mental illness or disorder or whatever it is. When you exercise, you release endorphins. They are feel-good hormones, so they supply, oxygen to your blood. Your blood is oxygenated, right? And then you are able to think clearly. You are able to push through. When you exercise, you build resilience, you build stamina, right? And you're able to push through those mental barriers and blockages that you can find, as you navigate. Then please learn to take mental breaks. Don't be superwoman, right? When you get to places where you know you've reached a threshold, request, please, may I take some break? May I, take, if you can, oh, please, I need to take a break. Go take deep breaths, listen to music, say some affirmations, just get yourself centered, practice gratitude, and all of that, over time, then honestly learn to like you have done very well. Assess yourself. You know where you are. Be honest. Look, I'm not doing very well in this area. I need to do better as you engage in those activities. And then, of course, most importantly, pray, talk to God about it. I mean, God created you so that He can show you how to navigate when you really get overwhelmed. I'm a Christian, and the Bible says, and David said, when my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. So when you get to those places where you feel overwhelmed, talk to God, pray, just say a prayer, and it'll really help you navigate. So I hope this has helped. And one more thing, learn to read and read books, go to YouTube, learn about mental health. Oh, my health, my mental state, what can I do? There are lots of, useful resources on YouTube and, online generally. So you find, one or two things to help you. Thank you.
Thank you, Quiniwo. I like to add here that meditation has been very good for me. When I'm overwhelmed, I just take a break, and I realize that in this part of the world, when we say we have 1 hour lunch break, most of my colleagues don't use 1 hour to eat. In 1 hour, they take a 30-minute walk, like they must walk, and it does something to them. I asked the one I was close to, that why even when it's so cold, why do you choose to work? Said that's the only time she can breathe. She can think of the first part of the morning, what she has done. She can be in a space where she can recalibrate, and by the time she's going back after lunch, she feels like it's a new morning again. So lunch doesn't always have to be food. You can combine it with quickly taking your meal, meditating, taking a walk, being in a space. Lock your door if you have a door that you can lock. Just sit there. Don't think of what you are cooking at night. Don't go thinking of what you're going to respond to in the emails. Like, just be in a space. I'm beginning to practice some of these things. The last time I went to the doctor was because I was having consistent headache, and he was going to place me on very high dose of Tylenol, and I'm saying, oh, maybe I'm reacting to the weather. Once it switches, it becomes very cold. The headache just sets in, and then he asked me, "How often do you use the gym? How often do you exercise?" I'm like, it's so tiring here. I'm going to work, but at the time I get home, I'm tired. Like, I don't really go like that except on Saturday. And you know what? When I heard what he said about it, like, okay, let's use this. So he gave me Tylenol and Advil and says, if it's on a scale of 1 to 10, you are feeling the headache like 6, take Tylenol. 5 or 6 hours after, add Advil. And I'm like, is this how we are going to be doing? Then I remember that I replayed the conversation that he was asking about exercise, and then I decided that no matter how tired I am, I will exercise. About 2 months after I was going for the next checkup, he gave me a, I'm sorry I'm boring you with it, but I'm hoping someone would learn from it. He gave me headache journal. So I'm going to be putting the percentage of pain I have, the medication I use, the hours I use it, the days. You want to get the pattern so that you will know the next step. By the time I went back to the hospital with the journal, I only filled the first one. The other days, I didn't feel, not because I forgot, but because the headache had reduced considerably. Like, I don't even use those pills anymore. What did I do? I was exercising more. So I had my gym bag in the car. Even if I leave office late, even if it's 30 minutes, I'll walk out before I go home. I was trying to just be particular, and then the kids are like, "Mommy, are you not coming home?" "No, today I'm going to the gym." Heaven will not, and heaven hadn't fall since then, because I'm always like, oh, these children, if you don't get home on time, it will affect. But I need to prioritize myself, because if I don't do it, at the end of the day, where will be the mother who will take care of them? A sick mother, a sick lady cannot be the superwoman. Learn to take breaks. Thank you. I'm sorry. Sometimes some of these things just speaks to what we have done, and that's why we are here. It's good to share. The next question go to Mrs. Madam Oluwaseyi Olulade. She has responded to this in the first question, but I'm going to combine the second and the third question. The second question is supposed to be, how can professionals identify and leverage their unique strengths to thrive in their careers? But she mentioned it already by saying, what do you do best when you're at home, or someone that has been home? What are the skills? What are those things you do well? So it takes me to the third question that says, what role does continuous learning and skill development play in career advancement? She has said that stop jumping up and down, learn before you end. So what role does it play? Like, we know the answer, but I still want her to respond, and then we'll begin to wrap it up with the final rounds of question. At this time, if you have question, please, if you don't want to unmute at any time, you can put it in the chat. Checking it, I would ask your question. Then just to announce, this section, this learning section, is approved for 3 certification units for HRC High. And if you would like to get a certificate, please, there's a link in the chat that you would need to request for certificate for. It's for a fee. This learning section is free, but if you want to get the certificate for your certification, then you will need to use that link. So, Madam Sheyi, let me take the question again, because I think I spoke so much. What role does continuous learning and skill development play in your career advancement? Let's just keep it to 2 minutes so that we can begin to welcome questions from every other person.
You are paid for the knowledge you have. You are paid for the skills you have developed. And you are paid for the ability that those two are able to make you bring about results. So you cannot underestimate learning and developing yourself as you progress in your career. You know, every day, one phrase, short phrases I use these days. I say, it's a new day, new information, and new knowledge. So yesterday's knowledge and information may not be expedient for today's work and today's work environment, in fact, life in general. So you have to continuously be deliberate about learning, and not just learning in your own area. You know, even with the relationship expert that is here, the finance expert that no. These days, you even find out that when you find yourself in different environments among different people, they are not all HR people. So you have to learn a lot about everybody or everything. You know, when I studied journalism, broadcast, you know, and one of the things they taught us in classes, as a journalist, you learn a little about everything and everything about the little that you know. Some also that you see journalists talking like authorities, you understand? So even for you as a HR person, I mean, I'm even just talking to the HR practitioners here. You are managing diverse career holders within your organization. You know, the excitement of it is when the marketer is talking to you, you are talking like a marketer. When the finance person is talking to you, you are talking like a finance person. Most times they can't even drill and talk the way you talk to in your own area. So it means that you have to continuously to stay relevant and have a seat on that table. In fact, be the table, right? You have to continuously learn and develop skills that will keep that your cutlery and your and all the corporals on the table, that nobody will say you are not relevant. It is so important that you have to keep learning to thrive, not just survive. Survive is to fake it, you make it, but to thrive, you bring it to the zone of knowledge and skillfulness, and then it helps you to be able to produce results and be a value adding personality. Then we know you are into business for your career.
Thank you, ma'am. Um, a lot of time we say, what do you bring to the table? I am the table. But that table, do you have the skill to be the table? Let's cut the I am the table. Yes, it's good to be the table. Have your skill. We have the privilege to know a lot because of the virtue of our career as HR. She said, marketer is talking, you're talking like a marketer. So you can't talk like a marketer if you are not learning, if you are not going into those meetings with armed knowledge. Madam Nneka, I'm going to combine two questions because of time. You have started us with those foundational principles, and with the way the economy is it easy to even thrive with the bills skyrocketing on a daily basis? How can individuals create? A lot of times we have created it. How do we sustain that budget we have created to support our financial goal? And then what role does the financial education play in helping us make informed decision? Two questions in one. How do we create a budget? Okay, assuming we have created a budget, how do we sustain that budget and stick to it? Then what is the role of educational financial education? What role does it play in helping us fulfill and make informed decision? That will be the last question I'll be asking you. Please, let's begin to drop our questions now in the chat. We'll be taking questions from the audience. Madam Nika, please go.
All right. Thank you very much for the questions. I think that the first thing is the mindset in which we approach our finances. If you are, and that's the major issue that determines whether you are rich or poor. If you approach your finances from the mindset of, it's never going to be enough, I'm never going to have enough. When we talk about an abundance mindset, it's so critical, right, for you to understand that money is not finished. In the whole world, there is still money. The question is, how do you get more to come your way? It's like somebody saying we've run out of oxygen. As long as we're here, there's oxygen. Are your systems, when someone needs an oxygen tank, the question is, systems are not working well enough to get oxygen into them. So when you need more money, the question is, do you have the systems for money to flow to you? All right. So that's how I want you to look at it. Again, another thing that helps me, that clears my mind, I know the bills are growing. I tell people that inflation is growing like fertilized grass. Nobody fertilizes grass, but really, the price of things you buy, I mean, all of us here know how the price of eggs is running like chicken, you know? So the question is, what do you do? And one of the first things that centers me and brings me down every time I want to go, hey, is there are people who are earning less than you with more responsibilities and they are living. That's the honest fact. Tell yourself the truth. I use the example of the Malam that we do for those of us in Nigeria here, you know, in Lagos, you know, the Malam on the street corner shop. He looks, have you ever looked at his face and seen that look of content and satisfaction? He's not trying, his wife is not trying to buy 3 weeks or use the latest attachment. His wife is not trying to, don't worry, I have a wig on too. His wife, he's not trying to have 4 or 5 danshiki. He may have just 2 and he's happy. He's not trying to have an array of palm slippers in different colors or canvas or sneakers in different red. No. So why I say that is this. The challenge is your desires. Never ever get to the point where you blame your salary and you're angry with your salary because of what it can't afford. You can be content with your salary while you desire more. So these principles I'm sharing are part of what I teach when I teach people about wealthy mindsets, right? And if you want to learn more about this, just go follow me on LinkedIn. I teach about these things every week, right? If you think about money from this perspective and finances from this perspective I'm sharing with you, then you are well on your way to building a budget that works for you, a budget that keeps you rich, a budget that helps you to build wealth long term. All right. So don't, if you approach it thinking, oh, price of things are going up, it can never be enough. Well, I said to somebody that last year, one of the things I focused on doing was focused on fighting for my savings and fighting for food. I said, well, in my house, we will not stop eating the kind of things we used to eat. But you see clothes, wig, shoe. I tell people when I'm shopping for shoes, can this thing work for work? Can it work for church? I think versatility over color, and I don't buy because I want to wear a particular shirt, big color. No, it doesn't work that way. So money and growing wealth is about how you spend and what you do on a daily basis. Your daily actions, those you allow to influence you. Social media. Who are you following? All of a sudden now, the wig that was fine is not fine again. All of a sudden now, the shirts you have, you look at it and it's like, I need to buy another shirt. Oh, I don't have any women. We do this one a lot. There's nothing in this wardrobe to wear. It's a lie. She has clothes she has not worn for the last 4 months. In the last 1 year. Yet, there is nothing in this wardrobe to wear. We need to stop doing those things, women. If you want to build wealth, you need to stop doing those things. I tell people something as I wrap up. Let your salary, let your income age like fine wine. Be able to get into 2025 and you find something from what you earned in 2020 that is still there because you were intentional with keeping a portion of that money and allowing it to stay and grow and grow. That's why they say the rich keep getting richer, because the rich keep money aside and are able to take advantage of opportunities. Let your income age like fine wine. Keep it, right? And women, I'd like to say this to you as I close. It's easier to network and chill, to Netflix and chill than to network and grow, right? Be intentional with how you network. You are on this call. You are seeing names on this call. Go and connect with them on LinkedIn. Look at our moderator. Go and connect with her on LinkedIn and say, hi, you did a fantastic job. Do you understand? Go and connect and be visible. Be intentional about growing yourself. Honestly, there are opportunities out there and they are looking for you. You should be very intentional with how you use your time and your money. Salary is not an excuse to be lazy with your time. All right? Thank you.
Whoa, that is so on point. Wow. You don't have to buy shoe because it's one color. So no wonder I was wondering, like, okay, maybe that's what, buy the shoe that you can use to church. If you're a church goer, it can serve you for church, it can serve you for whatever else, work, or make it comfortable, especially because once it's comfortable you can wear it anywhere. And thank God these days you can wear your danshiki and wear your running shoes, canvas. I just like this new style. Like, you don't have to do the heels all the time, you can just, so, and if you are buying, we don't buy all the time as smart women, smart money women. We don't buy all the time, but when you buy good quality, like, I'm happy to tell you that this week I have in my head, I bought it in 2021. It's 5 years old. I'm saying the truth. And even if it's not the one they will glue in the front now, me, I like it. I like the way it looks. If you don't like it, it's not a problem. Thank you to all our speakers. Please, can we give an emoji round of applause, appreciation, love, whatever you find good to express your gratitude. You remember that Queen Ewo said we should start from a place of gratitude, though. So let's start living it now. Let's start living it now. Yeah, thank you so much. I still had some prepared questions for the speakers, but if I have to read all of those questions, we will not be able to take other people's questions. Ademola Adesonwo has asked, and I'm going to read out. Any of the speakers can please respond. How is running so okay? Where is it again now? I saw, okay, yeah.
Yeah, she's asking about transitioning to HR after
Yes,
being in
yes.
finance for a
Yeah,
while.
she has the degree, she did the MBA or whatever, but it's been in finance field. So, what are the steps to take?
I think the first thing is, so when people ask me about career transitions, and I think, can I go ahead before I just carry on?
No, yeah,
Right.
you're already.
When people talk about career transitions, I think that, I was speaking about this 2 weeks ago to a group of people. We underestimate the power of the desire. We just feel like having a desire is nothing. The first thing is the power of that desire. That's your desire is a leg up. The desire to move is first a leg up. And owning that desire that I want to do something different. It is a leg up. The next thing I will say is start talking about it. Start talking about it to people, whoever cares to listen. I want to switch and do HR. The next thing is start volunteering. See someone who is doing something for HR people, like this kind of AEHR association is doing something, ask, oh, what can I do for you? Can I be part of this? Can I organize? Can I look at what is? Can I look at the agenda? Start, and then get on LinkedIn and start commenting in HR forums. By forums, I mean platforms and places where HR people are. Start commenting there. I know people who did not have an experience in HR but got jobs in HR because of the interest. And guess what? They said simple what they need. They don't start doing the work here too. But they started talking about the interest. I'm a coach. I'm yet to get certified as a coach. But I have clients I have coached. I have people I have coached. I coach regularly. So we underestimate the power of interest. So I'll say to you, Ademola, please understand that the interest you have is one leg up. Talking about it is the next thing you need to do. And then start teaching even what you know and volunteering. You will be well on your way to winning, right? If you take these steps. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Afonja, you have your hands up. Please go.
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to allude to what Neka said, and I've had a personal experience with that. So when I was working in a financial institution, I was in banking operations basically, but I had desire in HR, and everybody around me knew. My colleagues, my supervisor, the HR department knew. I started with CIPM, registered for the classes and all. And whenever HR was going to do recruitment or anything, I volunteered to be a part of that process. So that, when the opportunity came, I was going through my career on the career plan for the bank at the time, but I was still in banking operations and not in HR. But when the opportunity came for HR, for a role in HR, it was just one evening, and head of HR called me and said, Tolu, there's an opening in HR. And the first thing I asked was, is it inside here or outside here? And then she says, oh, it's within here. And then I asked, okay, is somebody leaving? And I asked, anyway, and I got into that role at a senior level because I had been mingling and working and interested and trained myself along those lines. So it is, you cannot, your desire will push you, your motivation will push you to be in the right circles, networking, like what Neka said, and being visible, being vocal about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Ademola, I hope your question has been answered. I don't know if Madam Sheyi or Quiniwo has anything to add. At this time, even if you have not been putting on your video, I would like us to put on our videos because we would like to take our International Women's Day picture and a few announcements. If you, I didn't see any other question, but if there is any that I have missed, maybe by chance, can we unmute and ask? But I still don't see any question. Madam.
I just wanted to add to. So another avenue, Ademola, is finance or figures. HR analytics and what have you is one area that a lot of us HR struggle with. So you are in the best place to come into HR from that angle. There are roles that are specifically HR analytics. There are roles that are specifically HR, and it's one because, like I said the other time, coming from your comfort zone. If you're going to start saying, "Oh, I want to start from personnel aspect, the day-to-day HR service delivery and all," you may struggle. But if you come in from roles like HR analyst, HR analytics, or because you are in the numbers place, you can transit very quickly and easily, because at that point in time, you probably will be working with the head of the HR to look at how to do trends analysis and what have you. So it's an easy routes for you to integrate, transition in, through.
Thank you. Um, I am delighted to let you know that the Ademola that is asking the question is our other gender, is a male. So, and I'm happy that he has found this section useful up to the point of even having a question and getting it answered by a panel of expertise. At this point, I'd like to quickly give some of the announcements we have as AEHRP. As we know, we usually have our annual conference and gala night. It's going to be coming up in August, and the flyer is already out. Uh, the cost for registration is aging like fine wine. So what it means is we did not increase the fee for this year's anniversary despite the skyrocketing of bills. However, the learnings from this year is going to be massive. You can tell the way Saturday would be, you can perceive it from Friday. Imagine International Women's Day program. Look at the quality of speakers we have on the call and imagine for the future what we are going to bring. So please make it a date and begin to register from now. August is almost here. Before we would wrap it up completely, some of the quick takeaway is decide and be deliberate about taking actions. The first one is gratitude, learn before you earn. Take inventory of your skills and experience and see where you fit. That's from career, build your career stamina. From the relationship, be specific when you are making a request. Sometimes we all Madam Tolu say we are talking so much about what we don't want, and then when they now say what exactly do you want, the answer is I actually don't know. We need to be deliberate about our request. I remember when I was having my one-on-one with my leader, and I'm saying it's like I politely told her that a lot of times when I'm talking, I'm trying to get your input. It seems like you are disconnected, like you just want me to finish speaking and end the call. And she says, okay, you know how you can help me? When you are calling me for something, before you say what you want and before you say what the issue is, tell me, hey, Jess, I just need you to listen in. Or, hey, I'm thinking, this is what I'm thinking. What's your thought? Or three, Jess, I don't know what to do. This is the situation. Or, Jess, I just need your input. So she told me specifically that I should let her know what I'm looking for in that conversation before I even start. So I'm saying, oh, Tolu, I'm calling you to ask what your opinion is on this. Or Tolu, I'm calling to ask you, what would you do if you're in my shoes? Or Tolu, I don't even know what to do. I need your advice. So let us be deliberate when we are making conversation, when we are building our relationship, to know what we are looking for so that we are not confusing the audience. And then one of the key takeaway from Queen Iwo is whatever you feed into your body is what it will yield for you. Stop feeding negativity. And Madam Irobe say, make your salary, let it age like fine wine. She's deliberate. You see, she looks healthy because she's not compromising on food. Every other thing can stop or can wait or can be substituted, but food, good food, because all of this learning, if you are not eating well, you can't even hear what we are saying. So it's necessary, and feed your body well. The last one I have is, it's a new day, it's a new info, it's a new knowledge. So the knowledge you have yesterday, according to Madam Sheyi, may be obsolete for today's work. And then the people you are following on Instagram, don't follow people that will give you high blood pressure. Follow people like Madam Sheyi, follow Madam Tolu, Madam Neka. Feed the body that makes the money. Thank you, ma. With these few points of mine, I hope I've been able to convince you, myself and the panelists, that you don't need to just survive. You can thrive in this International Women's Day, and taking deliberate steps to accelerate action. We keep saying we want to be there, we want to be given seats. We need to do what we have to do to get what we are looking for. Thank you so much. Tony, I don't know if you are still on the call. Do we have anything I'm missing out before we call it a wrap? And then the speakers had put in their LinkedIn pages in the chat. Please, it's for free. Oh, are we paying? No, it's free. To connect with Nneka, Tolu, Madam Sheyi, it's free. Like Queenie Wo, you can connect with them freely. You are not going to pay. And the value you're going to get will be more than the data you're going to use to surf the internet. Thank you, everyone. Can we please put on our video? Who's taking the picture from behind the scene? And it's okay to unmute and wish ourselves happy International Women's Day. I am proud to be a woman. If I come again, I would like to be a woman. Though the house chores are many, but I can do. So is someone taking the picture so that we will not waste this pose? I can also attempt here. Okay. Say cheese. Thank you. I'm taking another one for the next slide. I'm taking more. Yeah, thank you, Stella. I see your pose. Please, let's begin to drop our messages to appreciate our speakers as we log out. Thank you, Hi B K. Thank you, Madam Sheyi Olulade, for always leading our call. Thank you, Madam Tolu. Thank you, Queen Iwo. Thank you, Madam Nneka. We appreciate, and we specifically, we are appreciating all the males, all the men, all our brothers, our daddies, our friends. We thank you for all your continuous support, and we are happy to have you here. You see, we didn't say anything about men, because a lot of times men feel like when women are gathered, they are talking about them. We are talking about how best we can live our life so that we can continue to build our relationship with you. Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful one. The AEHRP women are planning on a getaway weekend next week for a spa section. Remember that we have been told to be deliberate about our health. A spa section and food. There'll be drinks, there'll be connection, there'll be networking. It's next week, March 15. Is that correct? Let Tony make the announcement. Yes, thank you.
I'm moderator. I wanted it to continue because I'm running out. Thank you so kindly, everyone, for being on the call. It has been, yeah, we did not talk about men. We don't even need to talk about men. You know, inclusiveness doesn't mean that we are taking away the men. Yeah, thank you so kindly. The International Women's Day hangout, Queen Hero has been mentioning it. We need to be intentional on letting down her hairs, and then even if it's a short hair like mine, it needs to be let down. Even if it's a short hair, it needs to be let down. However, yeah, so even if it's just pouring water, running it down, we are still letting it down. The link will be shared, if not shared already. Yes. So the Hangout link has been shared here. It's going to be a spa veganza. Let's have some spa session. Let's have some steam bath. Let's have some time together. It will be at a resort, and we'll be having enough time for ourselves. Let's pamper ourselves. Let's take care of ourselves. So that, you know, who is spending our salary? It has to be us, right? And there's always this, you know, message about you taking the lion's share. And if not even the lion's share, how much is 15 here? 15,000 naira. So let's be intentional. Set out some time. It's next week, Saturday. Clear all activity off your calendar from 10 a.m. Let's come together. Once you register, we'll have more details sent to us. Our men here, send it to our spouses. Let our wives, our friends, our colleagues, The more the merrier. Let's have some fun. Together, let's accelerate action to relax and rejuvenate ourselves. Thank you so kindly. Wishing us
Thank you.
all a happy International Women's Day. Thank you.
Yeah, the Port Harcourt people said they are left out. The Abuja people, you are not left out. When you are deliberating, you can go by yourself. I'm sorry that you may not be able to come together, but pick one or two ladies that you could go out together with, like girls' evening out. Yeah, we can do it. It doesn't have to be in Lagos alone. Thank you. And the men on the call, you could gift your wife. They don't have to be a member of AEHRP. You could give your wife this gift, pay for them. We'll send the details. Send it to someone you want to appreciate on International Women's Day. Sponsor ladies. Some people want to come, but like their salary has not been aging. They just want to start the aging thing, so you can sponsor one or two persons. Thank you. It's been a good time with Horse Hall here. At this time, we would like to call it a wrap. Thank you again to our speakers. We are grateful for the gift of you. Gratitude. We are grateful for the gift of your expertise and your willingness to always come each time we call you. God bless you. All right.
If you are here to get your certificates, please, if you're interested, the link is still on. And if you miss it, just chat up with any of us. Enjoy, have fun, pamper yourself, and have a wonderful celebration. We thought it was going to be an hour now. I've been over 2 hours. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, shout out to Modope, Mo sweet. Accelerate. Thank you. Yeah, Peggy in the house. Thank you, thank you, thank you kindly. Thank you, thank you. Princess Ibufolua, Stella Dedeji, Ademola Adesonwo, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. Virginia, Cynthia, you've been in for a while. Come out and take some sun. I'll be expecting to see you on Saturday, Cynthia. Victoria, Elizabeth Olalere, Isemwa Honiha, thank you for joining. Olufunke, thank you, thank you, thank you. Kenny, Basira, Judy, Wamaka, Rosemary, Ronke, Patrick, Chidima, how are you? Chidima, how are you? Damilola, Favor, Oluwakemi, Esther Bimbola, thank you. Thank you. Continue. Continue. I mean, continue. How are you? Imabong, it's been a while. Is it Rita? You eventually came in. Thank you. Let's enjoy our evening. I'll be ending the call now. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Tony. God bless you.
Amen. Thank you too. Thank you too.
Right.
Esther. Wamaka, thank you. Thank you.